do you condemn the killing of infants?
No, so I'm going to answer you. Okay.
From the Bible, yeah.
So from my studies of the scriptures, I believe that we have a God, which is our, well, we won't go there, but God is a just God. So there is no torture. So if there's an infant that dies, they're asleep. They're asleep. So when a church...
What do you mean they're asleep?
Okay, so
I don't know you have read the Bible. In the Bible, in 1 Samuel 15...
can be awake.
Wait. In 1 Samuel 15:3, in fact, they were told to torture every single male, female, infant and child, even the oxen and the donkey, and
to torture,
to kill them with a sword.
Okay, so you said.
What do you mean? Okay, you do not. When you kill someone with a sword or a gun, yes, it doesn't mean they sleep peacefully. If that is your thinking, then you are far away from the reality of this world.
No, fine.
By the way, don't try to sugarcoat something that is already wrong.
Sorry?
Do not try to sugarcoat something that's wrong by saying they were asleep. They were put to sleep. I don't know what.
No, but I was.
What were you trying to say? About what?
I was just generalizing about who our God is. As I've mentioned.
No, but I asked you a specific question. It wasn't a general question. Okay, I know God is just.
Yeah.
Okay, but when I read the Old Testament and the New Testament, I do not find him to be just. Specifically, if he calls on other people to kill and target infants and massacre children.
Well, as I've mentioned, I didn't want to get into that, but we're just generalizing. No, only because it is a big subject.
How can you say God is just when he actually commands other human beings to go to every door and kill everyone in the household?
The subject was, even as an adult, if there is a place of torture and hellfire, I'm saying outright that is wrong. And that's the God I know from the scriptures, that there is no place of torture.
Do you believe in the New Testament?
At all.
Do you believe in the New Testament or just the Old Testament?
No, all of it.
All of the Bible?
Absolutely.
Okay, there's an eternal hellfire in the Bible.
There isn't.
Revelations 20. Have you got the Bible on you?
Okay, so...
No, read it if you don't believe me.
We both know our scriptures, so...
Yeah, unless you're a Jehovah's Witness, because they do not believe in an eternal hellfire and what do you say, torture.
So I think they're correct.
Well,
I think they're correct.
Then the mainstream Christian is the main, which is like, I would say majority of the Christians. The Jehovah's Witnesses do not believe in an eternal hell and so on. But you see, this is the question. Do you believe Hitler will go to heaven one day?
If he will go to heaven? Of course not.
So where will he go?
To the common grave, which is hell, which is he'll be dead and he'll be dead forever.
Oh, so there's no torture at all? There's no punishment at all?
Well, the punishment is the death penalty, and that's what...
Well, what do you mean death penalty? Everyone dies, whether you're a believer or disbeliever.
Yeah, and I think...
How is that a penalty?
God of love. That's why I was talking about, like, you know...
I really want to know, do you believe that death itself is punishment?
Of making someone in a fire and torturing them forever and ever. It's like my children. If they're that rebellious, like, I wouldn't keep their hand in a fire. Like, they will learn nothing from that. You know, and God wants to teach us in a loving way.
But this is, you're talking about the afterlife. The teaching happens in this world.
Yes.
They're two different worlds.
Correct,
okay?
Correct.
By the way, your body belongs to you or to God?
Okay, so ultimately, our body's been given to us by God.
Okay.
But we in this life.
Whom does it? Who's the owner of your body?
Of course, us. So we.
You or God?
Well,
are you sure? Think about it. Yeah, think about it.
Yeah, we obviously.
Because I believe God is the owner of everything, including you and me.
Well.
Okay.
No, I do as well.
Okay. So once again,
that's the ultimate answer.
If God is the owner of you, then how dare you tell him what to do with his property?
I'm not telling him.
You are. You're saying, how can God torture you forever? By the way, God is not only torturing, God is also rewarding some people forever. But you focused on only the torturing. And by the way, this is something that they were given, they were warned about this. So it's not like God is just going to torture you just for no reason. Wait. Hear me out. You might consider it to be torture, okay? In the eyes of God, this is something that he promised them. So they brought the torture upon themselves by disobeying God.
Yeah, regardless. But the thing is,
it is like a teacher.
Sorry?
Yeah, it's like an analogy I'll give you. Imagine a teacher.
Yeah.
He says, I'm going to give you a test. Okay? If you studied for the test, then you're going to pass. But I warn you, if you do not study for the test, you will certainly fail. Now the student goes, hey, who cares, you know? I'll fail. That is the consequences I'm willing to take. That is a risk. By the way, we were just speaking to two girls earlier. Yes, an atheist girl from that set. I'm willing to take that risk.
Yeah,
maybe she was too young,
the
to
Bible
realize.
does clearly say with
What?
evil things that God cannot. He cannot even try. He doesn't even. He has nothing to do with evil.
You mean like killing of those babies, which you don't want to respond to?
Well,
To me, that is evil in this world.
no,
but you're
the
willing
only
to
reason why I
completely
didn't
turn a blind
answer
eye to that.
Was
What?
It is a big subject, and I think
It's not a big subject. It's very simple.
Sunday,
My friend, it's simple. Killing an infant is wrong. You don't need to. You don't need to go and research on it.
I agreed on that. I agree.
Do you need to research on that topic? Seriously.
I didn't say I needed to research
So
on it.
you said it's a big topic about what?
But we are
It's a
going
clear-cut
in a
topic
circle.
of
I mean,
justice
yeah,
and injustice. Killing, targeted killing of children, whether it's done by ISIS, whether it's done by the FBI, whether it's done by someone who calls themselves God, deliberate target killing. But what I mean by that is telling other human beings to go and kill every male, female, child,
I know, you've
and
already
infant.
mentioned that quite a
Yes,
few times, and-
but you need to understand the context. There's difference. Look, God does basically send floods, and like for example in the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, they were killed. And there were other punishments in the form of floods or in the form of earthquakes even. Yes, but this is something that God brings upon the people by himself.
Okay, so let me.
So you
ask
cannot
you-
hold. Wait. There's a difference between him doing it directly and then God sanctioning other human beings like Moses to do these atrocities upon infants,
so let me ask
targeted
you.
killing.
So 3-year-old,
Yeah.
3-year-old. Would that 3-year-old?
No, it's not wrong.
Go to heaven then?
Yeah,
My 3-year-old
look,
child.
in Islam
You
we
said
have.
infant was 2.
Yeah,
But what
so
about
I didn't say just
3-year-old?
infant. In Islam, is someone who is under the age of, who is basically prepubescent. So if you're prepubescent, yes, then you
Automatically go heaven.
you're not accountable for you're not accountable for your deeds.
Yeah.
Of course, you are to an extent,
Yeah.
but you generally, in terms of your afterlife, that is something that Allah will basically bless you by His mercy. In the
you're
sense,
saying like
but if someone has gone beyond the age,
Yeah.
then obviously they are held accountable, because there's an age of accountability even in the court of law in this country, So if you were committing, for example, murder as an adult, you will be treated differently to someone who was a juvenile. Yes, that's why you have a juvenile court and a juvenile, prison and so on. So there is different. We need to establish these relative differences.
Sure. But I think
But killing a baby is wrong. Come on,
I
doesn't
mean-
matter how you sugarcoat it.
Yeah, I will leave it there. I mean, as I said before, I needed to go, and I was just generalising.